Hi, everybody. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world today. We are joined by the wonderful Politecnico di Milano, who are here to discuss all things art and design with you today, future career choices, and more. We are joined by the wonderful Kiara and Ryan here, who will be here to host the webinar for you today. As ever, we ask you to ask questions. Please do get involved. We love to hear from you, and we want to really get as many answers out to you as possible at the very end of our webinar. All right, I'm going to hand you over to Kiara.
Thank you very much, Sabrula, and welcome everyone. I am really happy to be here today to introduce you to Politecnico di Milano and the great opportunities we offer. And of course, I'm happy to be here with Ryan, who's a student of the university. So I will share my screen to let you know more about the university, which is a technical university based in Milan, offering programs in architecture, design, and engineering. And as I was saying, today with me, I'm really proud to have Ryan, who's an electronics engineer. And well, we have some information here, but I think Ryan can introduce himself with his own words, so we get to know him a little bit better.
Thank you, Kiara. So as she said, my name's Ryan. I'm originally from the United States, specifically from the state of South Dakota, if you've ever heard of it. I did an undergraduate in my home state before working for 3 years in an engineering company for aerospace and decided to come back to school because I always wanted a master's degree and thought, why not go big, go home? So tried going to school at Politecnico di Milano since it is still one of the top rated engineering schools in the world, and get to experience living in another country and experiencing the architecture, the art, the history, the food, all kinds of things in regards to it while getting an excellent education at the same time.
Great. So long flight from from the US to Milan to enjoy our university life, and of course you are studying on Milan Leonardo campus, which is the main campus of the university. As we were saying, the university was established in 1863 in Milan, which is a very interesting city. A lot is going on in the city, so we can say that it's not boring at all to be here. You can find every day basically something interesting to do, and of course you have to choose because there are so many things going on that sometimes it's hard to decide. Overall, when you're a student and you're full of energy to enjoy and experience the location, and I will leave the floor to Ryan very soon about traveling around, because I know he has been exploring and he took advantage of the location of Milan because it's very well located. It's not far from other countries in Europe, and definitely a good place to go discover the other parts of Italy. But before just giving the word to him, I would like to let you know that the university has some other campuses located not far from the city of Milan. Which are in the city of Lecco, Piacenza, Cremona, and Mantova. So when you see these names next to the program, you should know that that's the location where they are offered. You should know also that there is always a reason why a specific program is taught on a specific campus. Sometimes the reason is related to the environment. So maybe the nature or like the geographical location, or sometimes it's related to an historical reason, or other times also to the economics that goes on in that area. But just generally speaking, they're not far from Milan. You can reach them by train very, very quickly. And you can, again, as we were saying, traveling around a lot. Right, Ryan?
Yeah, I definitely visited a lot of places. So every blue mark is someplace I have been. Most of them over when I've been here for studying. So as you can see on the left, with just Italy focused in, I've tried to hit most everywhere. I've only missed really like Sicily and oh, I forget the other region's name, but
Calabria.
nearly all. So there it is. Yes,
Yeah,
Calabria.
which it's a place very hard to get to. So I've never been in Calabria either. So,
But I've
but
been
very
all
beautiful.
over. Yeah, it's easy to get to most places between trains all the way down to Naples, and then taking advantage of like ESN and going down to Puglia. And then on my own trips, like I did my own road trip through Tuscany by myself, and then hiking in the Dolomites up in the northern Alps above Venice, and of course the famous cities of Florence and Rome, and the Amalfi Coast down by Naples. You can do everything. And then on the east one with more Europe in general, just from individual trips or to visit places, or I did a Eurorail pass for 1 month in between semesters and got to visit 6 different countries, I think.
Whoa. Amazing. Well, yeah, we can say that you took advantage of your experience here. Were you a traveler back at home as well, or
Oh yeah,
Europe inspired you as well more?
I've got a map similar for the United States.
Okay,
I've been to I
that's
think
nice.
42 states. So
Wow, yeah. Also, yeah, and it's super good, and I think it's inspiring because it's really hard to study here, I think. So,
yes.
I know that it's quite demanding, but at the same time, you can find the energy and the time to go and discover the place, the country, and the continent, right?
Oh, definitely. All my friends, all the international friends I have were, even if they're full-time students, like for Colombia, they've been everywhere. The, the Italian ones stick closer. They don't go as many places.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a different perspective. Probably when Italian students go abroad, they start traveling more, but because they
Yes.
go to discover. But when you're in your place, in your country, you tend not to. But yeah, going back to our topic, basically, yes, there is a lot to visit, a lot to see, and this is also a very important aspect of an international experience. And this is what the majority of our students do. So we have about 7,000 students enrolled from abroad, so international students who decided to come here and study. The majority of this community is enrolled currently at master level, like Ryan. And they so let's say it's also an international experience, not only because you go abroad in a different country, but also because you meet a lot of people from other places, from other countries with a different background and culture. So I think it's an important aspect to consider when you decide to go abroad. And in Italy, at Politecnico di Milano, you can find this kind of environment. I guess, Ryan, you got this experience quite a lot.
Yeah, definitely. I think I've met 3 Americans in 2 years here, so you only meet in other countries worth of people, but from everywhere. Like my friends are from Colombia, Venezuela, from France, from Sweden and Norway, and they're
All around
China.
the world.
Yeah,
Well, that's probably the aim, right? So if you wanted to stay only with Americans, you would have stayed in your country. But you're
exactly.
here also to know people that are like have different provenience. So it's an advantage, I think. And yet this proves what we were saying, right?
Absolutely.
A lot of
Got
connections.
all different, everyone's different from everywhere, and like specifically these events some of them are from ESN, like the 2 on the furthest left. are directly with ESN people I've met. So bottom one was how to cook Italian food. And then the top one was just people I've met through ESN that are all from different countries. There's France, there's Mozambique, there's Brazil, there's Peru, there's Norway. Like everybody in that group of picture is from a different country except a couple in the back from both from Norway.
Wow.
Flatmates invited me for Christmas and for the US holiday Thanksgiving where I cooked for them.
Nice. So yeah, well, just for people who might not know what ESN is, ESN is Erasmus Students Network. Of course, it takes the name from Erasmus project, but at the end of the day, it's a network of international students and also Italian students who are enrolled, and they organize events and trips, and like they really create a community of students. So they're really active. It's a very important association. Yeah, just for information. And we were saying that the university is international, but at the end of the day, it's located in Italy. So we encourage students to study Italian when they're here, just to make it easier to make friends, to travel, also to find jobs, because you can work while you study up to 20 hours per week if you are from a non-European country. But also you will find a job one day after graduation. And if you know an additional language, you might, of course, have an advantage. So you don't need to know Italian when you apply to the university, and neither when you enter the university. But the knowledge of Italian is a requirement up before graduation. So you have 2 years before graduation to study Italian, and we offer courses of Italian for free on campus. If you already know the language, of course, you don't have to take the courses. You just have to provide the language certificate. What do you think about Italian language, Ryan?
It's beautiful to listen to, definitely. And it's difficult to learn coming from the middle of nowhere where we don't really get exposed to other languages, but it's interesting. I like listening to it, and
yeah, well, it's doable, let's say. Overall, once you are exposed, as you were saying. So when you are in the community and you listen and learn, then of course, and then the level we require is it's not too high. So it's definitely doable, and it's free.
It's definitely free.
And having a look of the programs we offer at master level, which is the topic of today's event, well, as we were saying, this is a technical university. So we offer architecture programs, design programs, and engineering, which I will show you in a moment. Of course, on the website, you will find the details of each program. I don't have time to describe all of them, but of course, you can find a description on the website. And I just want to take a moment to let you know that you can also find out more about the program through the project which we created, which is Ask a Student. Ryan is an ambassador, and it is part of this project, through which you can book an appointment, an online appointment with the representative of that program to know more. To ask your questions and to be free to get more information. So here you have the QR code. You can scan it and just directly book your appointment. And Ryan will be one of the person you can get in contact with, and who's very, very active in that project. And of course, as we were saying, we have engineering programs in all the areas we can think about related to engineering. So definitely a lot of specializations are available here. And what you need to enter the program, so to apply to the university? Well, you first have to know to have a bachelor degree in a field related to the Master of Science, and this is an important thing to consider because in some other countries it might be different, but in Italy and at Politecnico di Milano, you need to have a specific knowledge, a specific education in the field of the program you are interested in. Of course, you can slightly change the area if you want to go from, I don't know, mechanical engineering to automation and control engineering or something like that. But it's not possible to enter here if you like, say, to design programs. If you have a background in sociology or psychology, it's something that doesn't happen because the master program has a very requires a very strong knowledge and a solid knowledge of the topic in the subject, right, Ryan? Yeah, you're nodding a lot. Yeah. I think it's quite intense. If you don't, I mean, you cannot enter. You're not eligible, let's say, but it would be impossible, right?
Oh yeah, if you came into this not knowing, like mine, circuits and electronics, if I came into this not knowing circuits extremely well already, you're dead. I was dead in the water.
Yeah, so that's the reason why. And of course, you will need an English language knowledge because the majority of the programs are taught in English. So we will require an English language certificate. Or if you have been studying in English at bachelor level, you don't need, of course, any certificate, just the transcript where it's specified that you know English, you studied in English. Then the application is really easy. You apply online, register, get the credentials, select the programs, because you can apply up to 2 programs when you submit your application. Upload the required documents I will show you in the next slide, and then you pay the 50 non-refundable application fee, 50 euros, sorry. The application is now open until July the 18th for entering the second semester for engineering programs. So let's say that if you are from non-European countries or from European countries and you want to start studying in February 2024, you can apply now until July the 18th. In case there is any European student online with us or watching this webinar, I would like to let you know that you can also apply for first semester in a very, very, very last call, which will open tomorrow and will be open for 1 week only. So this is an important information only for European students. That's just because you don't need a visa. So it's quicker for European students from this point of view. What do you need to enter the program? You need to apply and upload the documents you see here, some mandatory documents, which are the academic qualification, so your degree, the transcripts, your CV, a portfolio if you apply for architecture and design, and the language proficiency. So as we were saying before. And then you can also add some optional documents like the GRE, a motivation letter, a recommendation letter, and a course description. I don't know if you have something to say about the application procedures, if it is easy, or if you have any suggestions for the students, Ryan.
The application part's pretty straightforward. It's pretty common for all this stuff for, I think, all of any master's program requires maybe not language proficiency, depending on what, if you're English, but this other stuff you should pretty much already have anyway. Like, you graduated, you should have a transcript. You should have your degree, you should have a resume in case you didn't get into one, or if you're working. I mean, you should have most of this stuff. I always recommend doing a letter of motivation though. Like, you should have something like that just to set you apart and explain why you want to do something. And then a letter of recommendations is also super common. So you should find someone that'll write you a good one.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's a good suggestion. Yeah, definitely. Okay, and just about the cost of the program. All our Master of Science programs fee are 3,900 euros per year if you have come from a non-European country, while they depend on the family income if you come from Europe. So minimum 900 euros, maximum 3,900 euros per year, and the programs last 2 years. If you're, let's say we have some specific merit-based scholarship, which are targeted to international students, let's say they are merit-based, so they're talented students. There are some platinum which cover the tuition fees and provide the students with about 10,000 euros per year. Some gold scholarships, same, but 5,000 euros per year, and then the silver scholarship, which are fee waivers. So you can also apply, you can also study here without paying the tuition fees. There is no specific application at the moment for these scholarships. They might be implemented in the next year, but at the moment for the second semester, February intake, you just apply to the program and automatically will be considered for the scholarships. In addition to this, there are some other scholarships you might find out about offered by your governments, offered by Italian government. So we publish some of them on our website, but also you can find out by browsing and searching for other opportunities. But again, the fees are, let's say, compared to some other universities of the same ranking and same quality of education, we might say that they're kind of affordable. I might use that word. So also it's possible to consider this an opportunity also from this point of view. The university, as we were talking a lot about students' life, and because also that's a mission also for the university. So it's important for us that the students take advantages of the opportunities and live a life, not only like studies all the time. So the aim of your experience abroad at the university and of an academic experience is of course studying and boost your knowledge, of course, but at the same time you live a life like as a student. So we try to make it the best as possible, like through the welcome activities. So when students arrive from abroad, we welcome them somehow on during the welcome week. We show you the campus, we try to connect you to other students. That happens, it starts even before arriving, because we try to put you in contact with a buddy student, so someone who's here already, a current student who's going to help you before arriving and throughout probably the first months. And then, of course, there are a lot of activities going on, or services offered to the students, like sports facilities, on campus events, and the possibility to go abroad for exchange, being part of student associations like ESN, and so on. I know that, Brian, you did a lot of this, so I would like to leave you floor to describe and share your experience if you wish.
It was all of it that I did was great. I did ESN, as we saw earlier, for the internet, just a bunch of international students, and doing different trips to like Turin and Puglia and Venice, and also just around the city, getting to meet people during their other events like bowling or the tours around the city or tandem nights. So I met so many people through that. It's fantastic. I recommend it no matter what. It's worth doing. I did the buddy program too. The first one didn't respond, but I got applied a second time, and without any problems, they gave me another one. And I got partnered with Alberto, who was in my program. We have like almost identical interests, even if we're like on polar opposite ends of that interest pool. But we got along great, spoke great English. We hung out all the time. He brought me to his home in Medina, near Rome. and we went to the coast and we're taking photos of the waves and rocks, and like we hung out all the time, studied together. It's fantastic. And then also, as you can see on the right side of the screen, we did Erasmus. I applied for the Erasmus program just because I saw I qualified for it as a full-time student, and why the heck not study abroad while studying abroad. And I went to Norway at Trondheim, and the school's at the top, and stayed there for one semester, which was last fall, and got to travel around Norway, and it was see another culture that I wasn't expecting to see, and the cold and the snow as opposed to the seas of Italy. And it was fantastic. Everything was comfortable. We handled all the classes very well, transferring them between universities. It was great. I enjoyed all of it, and Welcome Week helps you out for like those that arrive the day of or the few days that right before they start, just to get used to the school, where things at, and yeah, it's very useful stuff to do.
Thank you, Ryan. I think you really try to take advantage of everything, and that's great. I think that's the best way to to live an experience like this. So I really hope these students who are listening to us are inspired by your words and your experience, and to add something to that, we also think that the let's say the competition live in the classroom, because at the end also you have exams, of course, and you have sessions and so on. So you all have a kind of competition with other students, but also with yourself, because you need to improve and to pass the exams. And also, this is what you experience in the classroom, but at the same time you can experience this also outdoor. Take part to the different events, sports events we organize, so a race like the Polimi run, or other championships that we organize. So if you're fond of sports, you can definitely be part of a team and take part to the this kind of activities. Just to say that, again, we try to make the experience the best possible, so you don't have only to study, but also live your life in a different aspects. And also, if you're fond of something, you can go on with that passion even at Politecnico di Milano. What happens is that also you are in an environment which kind of can inspire you somehow, because one of the missions of the university is research. So we are the first Italian university for projects funded by European Commission. This means that the level, the quality of the research is quite high here. The professors dedicate a lot of time to research. The researchers, the PhD students are involved in research. During the thesis, also several students are focused on a research project, and this is also, even if you don't work in the labs, if you don't have direct access to the lab sometimes for the program you attend, anyway you feel this atmosphere. So you're surrounded by people that are into research, cutting edge research. So these are the some facts and figures and numbers that I would like to share with you. So we have 6 large infrastructures, which are the ones you see on the left. A lot of labs, several publications, and important research projects in the frame of Horizon 2020. So definitely a place to be for research. And this is just to let you know that you can go on with the PhD after graduation at master level. You can also apply directly to a PhD. For example, the call for the PhD programs is open at the moment for students who already have a master degree and might want to enter a PhD program. You can also enter the job market through the help of the Career Service, which is an office located in here inside the university, which assists the students with career guidance, writing motivation letters, applying to jobs opportunities. They organize the job fairs, workshops, and so on on campus as well. And it is a way to help you get to the career you dream of through the university services. And or you can also submit your idea, startup idea, to the Polyhub Startup Accelerator, which again is part of the university. They can support you, they can fund you to make your project real, so to create your own startup. This is something that really makes a difference in the perspective. So you enter a university which already has some other opportunities after graduation for you. I don't know about Ryan's plan after graduation, but of course I wish him the best for your career after graduation. Are you thinking about remaining here in Europe or going back or somewhere else?
I got a job in France actually.
Whoa!
So I'll be close by.
Perfect. So you can come back to Milan whenever you want. Congratulations about that. Did you find a job? So you found a job before graduating, because you graduate in October. Okay, that's great. Congrats. That happens anyway. That happens a lot. So yeah, glad to hear so. And yeah, just to wait, I will wait for your questions, of course, but before finishing, I would like to summarize everything. Just let you know that the university you are listening to is a ranked university. It has a very well good international reputation. It's a first in Italy according to QS World University rankings, and it's among the best universities in the fields we teach here. So this is also something that might be taken into consideration, even maybe not the most important thing for your experience. This is also a university which has a lot of networks, connections with other universities, technical universities in Europe and around the world, meaning that you can go abroad for exchange programs, and also you can feel the atmosphere we were talking about before. So exchange of ideas and very lively atmosphere also from this point of view. I will leave you the contacts to reach us, so reach the office or know more about the programs, and also reach our ambassadors through the Ask a Student project. And Ryan, if you want to add something before we start with the questions, please.
Just do what feels right for you if you want to try it. It's like, it doesn't hurt to try and apply and get in, or just if you want to do it, why not? That's
good advice. So thank you, Ryan.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for a great presentation. Really, really informative. A lot there to unpack. So we're going to go into the questions now. We have quite a few coming through. So let's begin. Okay, any advice for building a portfolio and to ensure that it will stand out in a crowd?
All right. Well, don't copy anything. First advice, because that's a very important thing. So be honest. It's not only about the portfolio, it's also about the other documents. It's important for you, for us, that you provide the documents which are real, because then at the end of the day, if you're admitted, you will have to study that program. If you're not the person we think you are when you apply, you might be very, very challenging. So first advice is just include the projects that you've been working on for real. Not so many projects, but just a few of them, like 5 maybe, which are good, you got good marks for, or you've been maybe working with the company, or not only in the at the university, maybe with outside for any reason, any project you've been working on. So just a few of them, and describe them very well in English. So I think this is the most important thing to think about when you build your own portfolio.
Yeah, perfect. And a more relevant question, I would say, will the use of AI be introduced at your school? Artificial intelligence.
Intelligence. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not really sure about this question. You might maybe reach out, and then we'll find out. And I think you mean in the courses, like as a topic of the
Yeah.
program. Well, yes, for sure it's included. I'm not 100% sure which program offers it. I think it's computer science and engineering, but just to be 100% sure, please reach out and we will answer in details.
I do know one of my
Okay, well, thanks, Ryan.
One of my computer science friends said that they used AI even in their thesis and stuff. So
Amazing. Well, it's going to take over soon, isn't it? So, makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, in good and bad.
Exactly. Who knows? So how is the cost of living there? Is finding accommodation easy? Maybe Ryan, you can kind of touch on this for us.
So, I mean, this is always relative, of course, to where you're from, because I don't know who's all from, where everyone's from here, but I know from the Midwest, coming to here, the housing is expensive. But also if you're from like New York and the coasts, it's not expensive. The food is like Spain, Italy, and Greece are famous for having much lower costs in food products, so that's reduced. Transportation's really cheap. You can get like a metro, bus, and tram pass for unlimited usage for like a year for like 200 euros. It gets you all over the city, and then but the housing is the biggest concern. It's not the easiest thing to find in the city. So that would be something you should consider or look into ahead of time, or it's possible. You just are probably, the easiest thing is to find roommates. That a lot of houses have, like, you share an apartment with 3, 4, 5 people to have a place
Yeah.
to live.
If I may add something about that, well, concerning the prices, the cost of living, well, the university has a lot of discounts. So once you're a university student here in Italy, you really can take advantage of discounts. So transportations, food, and museum expositions, and a lot of benefits come from that point of view. Concerning the accommodation, what we do is listing some partners we have. So some residencies or private agencies which are trustable on the website, and you can reach out through ESN. We were mentioning ESN. You can definitely contact them, and they will put you in contact with other students. So there are a lot of services. Once you're admitted, well, try to work on that aspect as soon as possible to make sure you find accommodation.
Yep, ESN has a Facebook page that's got a whole bunch of people posts when they leave and when they're having a room that's available.
Yeah, that's super helpful. Definitely. We have a question from a Mexican student here. So is the Hague apostille for academic documents required before doing the transcripts? I am a Mexican student looking for a master on civil engineering.
No, it's not required upon application. It's required, like the e-apostille is one of the documents we require when you enroll. So when you come here, basically. So it's not necessary to think about that now, but after admission, before enrollment.
Perfect. All right. I think there's a few questions about financial aid, scholarships. Is there anything available?
Yeah. As we were saying, there were some scholarships offered by the university. These scholarships are tuition fee waivers plus the students might get some pocket money, let's say. They cover some expenses, and you don't have to apply to them because once you apply to the program, you are also considered for the scholarships. In addition to those, there are some other scholarships offered by the government. Our government, but also maybe your country government. So just check it also with local bodies of your country. So, for example,
Perfect.
just to mention one agreement we have with US, there is a scholarship, a Fulbright scholarship available for students of architecture and design, at the moment only for architecture and design. So you can apply to the scholarship and come here with the full funded, basically. Just to mention one, because I know some of the in the audience should be from the US.
Amazing. And Ryan, this one goes to you. Ryan, how do you find the cultural differences between the US and Europe? It must be quite a few different things that you've experienced.
Yeah, it's definitely an entirely different atmosphere and way of seeing things. You kind of should expect it from. We're very aware in the US of kind of how Europe's mindset is, at least at a high level, of like being more like public transit is a big deal. That cities are more, or they're not skyscrapers, but they're definitely, and they're more condensed cities, and the food products are very protected, like the designated origin of protection on food products, and the people are very like, I mean, everyone knows multiple languages pretty much that you're going to meet here. So unlike in the US, I feel like almost everyone I met only spoke English, or in the South, maybe some Spanish. But here, almost everyone speaks some other language. Even like Italians can speak French or Spanish as well, or the northern countries speak English extremely well, like just as well as most English speakers, I would say, most of the time. And then they just have different ideologies of what's important. So, I mean, you'll talk about it all if you come, but like between, of course, a big one that everyone talks about, healthcare, and like what should be included in social programs, what shouldn't be, what's going like anti-capitalism or pro-capitalism. There's a huge amount of differences. I could not possibly summarize them in minutes, let alone hours. I mean, you have great conversations, and just so if you come, you experience everything. It's just like every other country. Everybody has different mindset. Everyone was raised seeing the world through the eyes of their country. So
And since you mentioned, sorry, just go practical, but since you mentioned something about the health insurance, let's say, it's important, I think for people coming from countries like the US, that's here in Italy, there is a specific health insurance, which costs about 1,100 euros per year. And I underline per year, which includes all the public services, health services, and you as students enrolled at Italian University, you have access to this. So you pay this amount and you can have a doctor, you can go to the hospital if anything happens to you. You just, if you need to stay in the hospital for a few days or everything is covered. You don't have to spend anything on health services here. So this is a very important thing to consider.
Yeah, massively. next question that I've just seen come in was, can I work and study in Italy? How long for?
Yeah, you can we can work. If you come from a non-European country, you can work up to 20 hours per week. So it means a part-time job. And also, if you come from Europe, you can work full-time. We don't suggest it, of course, because if you come for studying at a university like Politecnico di Milano, it might be very, very hard to work full-time and study at the same time, but it's possible, legally speaking. And also, you can work on campus. So there are some collaborations, like a lot of, like Ryan is doing, and several students are doing on campus. So you get paid for services offered to the office. So you help the offices or the departments, and you get paid for that. So you don't leave the campus. You can even work remotely, and you get paid by the university.
Amazing. In talking of potential employers, will I be able to meet potential employers through the university?
Definitely, yeah. Well, as we were saying, there is a career service. It's an office inside of the university which organizes events, workshops, study fairs, and career fairs, which are targeted to our students. And also, there is a specific website where a lot of job opportunities are published and which are visible only to students of Politecnico di Milano. So definitely, yes. I don't know if Ryan, you got in contact with career service anyway, but or you heard.
I put stuff on there and I got contacted by a company through it. Yeah, it happened. I didn't.
Yeah, you I understand you got a job with different through other channels, which is super good. But yeah, the university tries to put you in contact with companies and representative companies.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
there.
I guess it's what you put in as well, you know, it's both ways. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, and last question. Are there any fully funded research projects?
Yes, there are. At the moment, now, until 29th of June, there are some calls, PhD positions open for international students, and then for all the students. So there are like more than 500 projects, positions at the moment published on the website. That include a scholarship, so about 1,400 euros per month offered to the students. The programs are free, so you don't pay the tuition fees, and you get this kind of scholarships, 1,400 euros per month. I can briefly share another QR code if it's not a problem. So I just go here, and I should be able to quickly share it. So let me just open another presentation. So if you have this kind of question, you don't have to browse the website and to find out, but you just easily get to the to the positions. Let me just share the screen again. And one moment. Yeah, here I am. Here. So sorry, this was another presentation from last Friday, but this is the link to the job position, though the PhD positions which are open at the moment.
Perfect. That's great. That's definitely good to keep that up there, I guess. But thank you, and as my last thank you here to everyone on Facebook who've joined. We will be in touch very shortly on the registrations if you couldn't make it live today. Ryan, thank you for your time and you know, giving us your insights into Milan and studying over there. Any last words from you for any future students?
I think if you should, it's definitely worth going international. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I think it's an experience worth having. And I mean, I think it's doable. If you do it, I think it's worth it, and you can do it. You have to work hard, but you can pull it off.
So yeah, we
Amazing.
will wait for your application, and we will look forward to meeting you guys in Milan.
Amazing.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, everybody. Have a good afternoon or evening wherever you are. Bye-bye.
Bye.